let's begin with some warm-up exercises. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Big circles. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Now, arm swings. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, jumping jacks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sumo. And all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back down. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, deep lunge. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do the deep lunge one more time, but what we're also going to do is lift our foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. We're going to knees counterclockwise first. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. Stretches, calf and wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's move on to warm-up cuts. Beginning in the high Vomtag, or for the Messerfolk, Lugensland. Alright, we're going to strike Shadowhow to the skull. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, to the long point. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. To Alber. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Right Oberhau. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switching feet. Left Oberhau. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, left Oberhau, right unter. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 und 10. Switch sides. Still in the Vom-Tag. Cutting right Oberhau, left Unterhau. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, Mittelhau. We're going to cut 6, do cut 6, and then cut 5, and then reverse sides. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. 6, 7, 8, 9 und 10. Alright, let us, we got time. Alright, so let's go into the ox on the right hand side, and we'll do a right Oberhau. 1, 2, 3, 4 und 5. Into the left ox, left Oberhau. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Into the right Nebenfoot. Und 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides to the left neighborhood. Oberhau. Und 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. We're a little far on this one. It's okay. It's the one I actually need to work on, so you get to deal with it with me. 8. 9. There we go. 10. Okay, now going to do let's do our Verhangen practice. All right, 5 on each side. All right. So, right foot forward, left foot back into the Lugensland or the High Vomtag, and we're going to cut to the first word. All right. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. All right. Now, it's the same thing on the other side. 1. 2. 2. 3. 4. 5. Very good. All right. Let us do some quick thrusting exercises. Again, a little fewer today. All right. So 5 each. All right. So from the right Flug to the left Ochs. Und 1. 2. 3. 4. Und 5. Okay, sehr gut. Okay, now from the left Flug to the right Ochs. Und 1. 2. 3. 4. Und 5. Sehr gut. Okay, now from the long Ort, einschießen. Right? Und 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Alright, great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to dive in to the Hutton Gemeinfekten materials again, and we're going to re-examine the cut and parries with cut 1. Alright, so before we start class, let's salute in. Sword should be on your left shoulder. Achtung. Begrüße. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to review the cuts and the associated numbers. I know this has been a little confusing, but I promise that once we get it into our brains, it'll be helpful. And it's going to be helpful for us to kind of dissect a lot of the Gemeinfektens material. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's come to Long Ort, right? And let's review. So from here, cut 1, right Oberhau, switch your feet. Cut 2, left Oberhau, come back into the Nebenhut. Right. Cut 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. All right, one more time. Cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Long Ort. We also have, in addition to, we have cut 7, cut 8. All right, again, cut 7, cut 8. Now, let's review the words real fast. All right? So, basic words. 1, first, second, third, fourth, seventh, eighth, or eighth. Doesn't matter as long as you're here. The idea is hands are high, tip is low, defending your right side. Some people asked about 5 and 6. Those are so we've kind of matched these numbers to more historical and contemporary fencing awards to make it easier for folks who have already done that kind of fencing, so we don't mix them up too much with our HEMA-ness. But 5 and 6 are more single-handed things that don't really apply to what we're doing, so we skip right from 4th to 7th. Why not? All right, one more time. Let's begin in the Longsword. First, second, third, fourth, seventh, eighth. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm actually going to get Catherine, who's here, is going to help me demonstrate the cuts and the wording of cut 1. All right, so what we're going to do now, and folks have seen this, I've posted it on the Discord and made it available to folks using the Teachable. This is a series of practice partnered drills to help you learn the basic parry and riposts with the longsword. Now, this first set we've gone over a couple times in the past few weeks, but I really wanted to, since I had an opportunity to show you with 2 people doing the drill itself, I think it'll help the overall drill make more sense, yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to dive back into wording cut 1 with parry 4, or in this case, fluke, all right? And so in the whole idea here is that the player is practicing wording a cut, a right Oberhau with fluke, and then doing a Nachschlag. In this case, the first set that we're going to do is the feeder, which I will be doing, does cut 1, to which is worded with fluke, and then I parry with high 8th, and then I do, which is, I'm parrying a left Oberhau incoming. I know that's a lot of numbers and jumble stuff, but you've all seen it. Once you see it, it'll make more sense. All right, so let's do it. So let's go ahead and salute into the ready. From here, from the ready position, both people doing the drill will come to the long point. The feeder will then cut 1, which is the right Oberhau, which is then warded and then riposted. And from here, both participants return to the long point. And that's part 1. Real simple, right? Now, let's add the second part. So the second part, the feeder, again, cuts 1, which is worded, and then the riposte is cut 4. Woo! Woohoo! Which is fine. Luckily, I was out of distance, because my sword didn't get there fast enough. Once again, parrying with 8. Let's do that one more time. All right, so from the long point, feeder cut 1, cut 4 riposte. Yep, that was a little bit of an Oberhau. Let's do that again. All right, from the long point, and back to the long point. All right, one more time. All right, one more time, and let's bring up the speed just a little bit, all right? And back to the long point. So, all right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to combine both those things into one larger flow drill. What's nice is that these little sections all build on top of each other. So now we can combine that first part with the second part. All right, so from the long point, the feeder will cut 1, riposte, back to the long point. See, very basic stuff. These are all things that we should be, we're not doing high fancy art of fencing. We're doing very common fencing. We're doing fencing that is the basics of keeping ourselves alive and trying to defeat our opponent, right? So now, let's build the third part. The third part The feeder will again provide a right overhow, which is then parried with word 4, which is then the riposte is cut 6. Right? Boom. So in this case, as the feeder, I now have to parry with flug or third. All right, let's see how that looks in action. All right, so let's begin. And to the long point. And cut. Oh, and I f***ed up already. See, now this, though, seems like a good response. Let's learn from my mistake here. Boom. See why that's bad? This is why when we do, actually, the parry of second, I don't do this. Because actually, if you could just kind of cut a middle how again, parry of second is really weak in that way. All right? So, let's take that as an opportunity to learn from my mistake. All right? Let's do this again from the long point. I'll cut 1. All right? Again, because my wrists are not in a compromised position, now as this parry comes in, I've also forced the feeder to be on their weak on my strong, which is always in, if this was an actual fencing situation, I'd have more leverage. All right, let's do that again so we can show them twice in a row of me not screwing it up. All right, long point, cut 1. All right, there we go. So, and even if, in this case, let's say for whatever reason we ended up here, again, hold on 1 second. If I had parried this with like a high octave, this is still going, even if we got close, there's going to be a leverage issue here, and it's just things we can do, but it's going to put me in a bad situation. By parrying with flug, way better for many reasons, right? I can push, etc. All right. So now the final one for this segment is I will cut 1, which will be parried by 4th, and then you will thrust very slowly. And then I will parry that. In this case, it is prescribed that I parry with 4th. All right? So, yeah? It's a long point. So in this case, the feeder is going to, again, cut 1, which is parried by 4th, and then thrust 4th. And in this case, it is my job as the feeder to then also parry 4th. This is one of those instances where a bad parry is going to save your life. All right? Because we're not practicing any of the windings or any of the fancy things, yeah, just parry 4th. All right? So let's do that one more time. So let's begin. So to the long point, cut 1. Yep. All right. Now, let's see if we can do all the segments in a row, beginning with the first and ending the first, which the riposte is cut to, all the way to the end. All right. And all right. So back to long point. All right. So let's do that one more time because that was good. Again, these drills are meant to be done slowly at first, and then you can build up in intensity. But the important thing is that you're always practicing making the mechanics as good as you can in that moment. Don't go fast just because you can go fast. Try to make it smooth, and then increase the speed as you go. All right. So let's try it one more time. All right, and begin. All right. So, all right. So that is a general rundown of the paired drill. This again is always something easier to talk about and kind of teach in person. But since this is our vessel, I'm glad I at least got an opportunity to kind of show you what it looks like in terms of 2 people doing the drill. So it's not just it's beyond the shadow boxing. And so now your homework is. You all have this. It's in the Discord. It's in the Teachable. It's been published in the Zoom. I want you to shadow box this, and for the next half hour or so, train these moves yourself. All right? Next week will be a test. I'm going to figure out how to administer a Zoom test. Mostly shadow boxing, but yeah, I want to give everyone a little challenge. All right? So thank you, Kat. Thank you for joining me, and I'll pass this back to Future Peter, who will now take a short Q&A session. They're your problem now, Future Peter. Bye-bye.